Picture this. You're standing right in front of the towering Brihadiswara temple in Tanjavur. Hundreds, then thousands of intricately carved figures, gods, and vibrant scenes cover absolutely every single surface, from the base all the way up to the highest tower. The sheer density of it is literally breathtaking. Welcome to this explainer. I'm host 1, and alongside host 2, we are going to completely decode a system that has fascinated and honestly bewildered people for centuries. 330 million. That is the massive number most people hear when they first encounter Indian mythology. 330 million gods.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. 330 million? How is a human brain supposed to even process a pantheon that large? How do you possibly keep track of that many distinct personalities?
Well, you don't, because the number itself totally isn't the point. If you're trying to memorize this massive cast of characters, you've actually already lost the plot. But here is the promise. The second you grasp the true, underlying foundation of this ancient tradition, all of that apparent chaos just vanishes. It transforms from this sprawling, unmanageable crowd into a beautifully structured, perfectly logical system. The biggest mistake almost every outsider makes is treating this like it's Greek or Norse mythology. You know, in the West, separate gods have separate domains. Zeus rules the sky, Odin has his own realm, Poseidon controls the sea. It's essentially a drama. You've got to let go of that entirely. The Hindu model is built on a completely different foundation. It is one foundation, with infinite faces.
Which brings us to Section 1, Brahman, the source code.
The entire system rests on a single concept called Brahman, and notice the N at the end there. This is absolutely not Brahma, the creator god. Brahman is the one ultimate reality. It's the very ground of all existence. Ancient philosophical texts like the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad make it super clear that Brahman is not some creator god with a personality who sits outside the universe judging things. Brahman is literally what the universe is made of. The texts use this amazing symbol of a lamp flame in the darkness. It's a single light that ignites infinite other flames without ever being diminished itself. It is entirely formless and it's infinite.
Wait, so is this basically just ancient mysticism for, like, the unseen back-end code running reality?
Yes, that hits the nail on the head. Brahman is the back-end code. Every river, every mountain, every single human being, and every single god is just this formless code executing as a specific form. It's the one appearing as the many. Section 2, the Trinity of Functions. Now we're looking at the famous Hindu Trinity, or the Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. You see them depicted together all the time, like in the magnificent 6th century sculptures at the Elephanta Caves. But here's the key. They are not competing roommates trying to govern the cosmos. They are strict, absolutely necessary operational functions of reality. Brahma is the creative function, Vishnu is the preserving function, and Shiva is the destroying function.
But hang on, if Shiva is the destroyer function, why isn't that considered evil?
Right, and this is exactly where the framework departs so sharply from the West. Shiva's destruction is not evil at all. It's a necessary clearing for new growth. Think of it exactly like creative disruption in tech. You simply cannot have a new forest without the old one burning down to make way. You can't have the next cycle of the universe if the current one doesn't end.
These forces are always perfectly balanced. 33% creation, 33% preservation, and 34% destruction. And they cycle endlessly. They drive absolutely everything we know. From the life cycle of a single microscopic cell in your body to an entire human life, to the rise and fall of global civilizations, all the way up to the cosmos itself. Section 3, Faces of One Reality. Now here is where it all finally clicks. Every single deity is just a highly specific face of Brahman. Saraswati isn't just a character, she is the aspect of Brahman expressing itself as knowledge and creativity. Lakshmi is the aspect of abundance. Kali, who you often see in these striking, incredibly fierce paintings, is raw, untamed power. She's the force that destroys what must be destroyed without a second of hesitation. And Ganesh isn't just a quirky figure with an elephant head, he is the fundamental aspect of wisdom and obstacle removal.
Oh, wow. I get it now. If Brahman is the operating system of the universe, these 330 million gods are essentially approachable apps running on top of it. Because humans can't interact with raw source code, we use the apps.
Exactly. The infinite, formless Brahman is way too abstract for a standard human mind to grasp. So the 330 million gods serve as approachable interfaces for highly specific human needs.
Okay, I have to admit, this is a fascinating architectural model for religion, but why does any of this ancient history actually matter to a modern individual today?
Section 4. Atman and the Self.
It matters because this framework isn't just a map of the heavens out there, it's a map of the human mind right here. The pioneering psychologist Carl Jung actually realized this nearly a century ago. He sat at his desk and used these very models, specifically Eastern geometric mandalas, representing this fractal reality, to understand the deepest layers of the human psyche. He saw that this ancient mythology was an incredibly profound psychological tool.
Which leads us directly to the ultimate plot twist delivered by the Upanishads. They introduced this concept of Atman, the self, the vital breath inside you. The great revelation of this entire tradition is summed up in the phrase Tat Tvam Asi, or that thou art. It means that Atman equals Brahman. The unchanging essence inside of you is the exact same essence running the entire universe. The code inside you is the cosmic code. You are literally a fractal of the whole.
Section 5. 30-second recap. Okay, you have to admit that is a massive paradigm shift. I challenge you to synthesize this entire mental model for me in 30 seconds. Go.
All right, rapid fire. Indian mythology is absolutely not polytheism as we typically understand it. It is entirely built on Brahman, the single ultimate reality. The famous Trinity? They are not competing kings. They are three necessary operational functions of creating, preserving, and destroying. And those intimidating 330 million gods? They're just infinite, approachable faces or apps of that one reality, perfectly tailored for human needs. And the most empowering part of the whole shebang? It's a fractal. Atman is Brahman. The entire universe exists within the self.
Once you hold that mental model, the ancient texts, the vast epics, and the incredibly dense temples all become completely legible. But I want to leave you with one final, totally mind-bending fact from the Rig Veda to ponder. In this cosmic framework, a single day in the life of the creator function, Brahma, equals 4.32 billion human years.
Man, if the code inside you is tied to a clock that massive, what does that mean for how you live your life today?